We'll bring it up. Could say that Tyrese looking to bounce back from a performance he'd like to forget on Thursday, but I think we can say that about everybody, so that will be the only mention of Thursday as Tobias.
Just a straight up post up, had the size advantage, went quickly.
Wendell Carter Jr. did not play. He was still coming back from a hamstring injury, and that aforementioned 50-point performance from Joel in January. Nice move.
Knowing that he couldn't come back down with it, caught and shot all in one fluid motion.
Tobias catch and shoot 3-5 early from Tobias.
Keep in mind.
It's the rebound. Whoa, what a good bounce pass to Carter Jr. for the jam.
Well, and you can see does a good.
A technical foul, listens to Jalen Suggs. So Harden. Wagner on Harden. Embiid hands off to Harris. Tobias driving, nice move. Love it when he gets downhill.
Guy as opposed to a back to the basket kind of player.
No, comes off the bench for the Magic here. Suggs knocks down the jumper.
That he's got to, because he only spent 1 year in college, they've got to grow up. They've got to get big. They've got to get strong. As Joel answers, being stronger.
Carter Jr. pulls up near the free throw line and hits a jumper of his own.
What modern age bigs have to do. Carter Jr. no exception.
Good looking three, just a little bit short from Tobias. Carter Jr. the rebound over to Anthony. Here he comes again, head full of steam, lays it up and in, make it 6 for Wendell Carter Jr.
He may not be an all-star, but at the same time, you got to make sure you keep an eye on him. He's too good to be forgotten about. Carter Jr. getting a little smack talking with the Sixer bench.
He had 20 and 10 in the comeback win over the Timberwolves on Friday. Good second opportunity courtesy of Matisse Thybulle. Tyrese draws the foul on Cole Anthony. And we've got a timeout on the floor. 10-all, 6:55 to go in our first. Last time these two met in January back in South Philly, Joel tying a career high with 50 points in just 27 minutes.
Well, and look at the efficiency, 17 of 23 overall. That's just crazy right there. Joel not wasting much effort.
For the Alliance Sports Bureau, that was the most points in the fewest minutes of any player since 1955. Joel with two guys around him. Joel saying he was hit. Tyrese says, hey, don't worry about it, big man. I'll steal it and put it back in for you.
Carter Jr. just a little lackadaisical on that outlet pass to Cole. Maxey anticipating it, got in between. Able to gain his team not just a possession, but a bucket too.
Nice move by Tyrese. Know that he is working hard on his defense. Anthony lays it up and in.
Anthony, we talked about him and his teammates having to be kept out of the lane. Can't allow them easy buckets.
Tyrese looking for back-to-back buckets, and he's got it.
Nice little two-man game with Joel, taking it one direction and then using that Joel screen to get middle and open.
Suggs dishes to Carter Jr. But they are building a nice foundation down here in Florida.
Well, if they can stay healthy, not a bad lineup, front line when you think about Carter Jr. and Mo Bamba. And then you add to it Suggs, Markelle Fultz coming off the bench. This is not a bad team. I haven't even mentioned Wagner, too. He's about to contribute.
There he is. He was one of 3 guys in the starting lineup for the Magic tonight who also played with Tyrese in the Rising Stars Challenge. And speaking of Rising Stars, first year as the head coach down here in Orlando, Jamal Mosley.
Yeah, people are really starting to take to him and what he is trying to do down here. The biggest thing you've got to do as a new coach on a struggling team is to have your players trust you, believe that you have their best interests at heart. And I think from what we've gleaned talking to people down here, that is exactly the case. This team, despite their record, still plays hard for them and, more importantly, plays together for one another. Those are good characteristics to have if you're building.
James and Tobias out, George and Shake in. Final 5.5 of this first quarter, and Jalen Suggs goes to the left hand for 2.
Cole out, Fultz in. Point guard position gets a little bit bigger.
First time Orlando has led this evening. Joel for 3. Changes that. Sixers back in front.
Good ball movement. A lot of room to get to Joel for Carter Jr.
Here's the former Sixer, Markelle Fultz. Turns it over. Here comes Joel.
Looking for Carter Jr. there, unable to find him. Let's see if the Sixers can capitalize.
Shake wide open for three. Good look. Just leaves it short.
You know the Sixers want to take quick threes in transition. Shake, one of those names on that list.
Fultz coming back in after the ACL tear for the first time on February 28th, and he has looked very good off the bench for these Magic since. Picks the pockets of his fellow Washington Husky, and then a whistle. Earlier, let's take a look at our Hyundai defensive play of the game from our Tyrese Maxey.
Gains his team an extra possession right there. The Carter Jr. outlet gets stolen. Quick defense to offense, your Hyundai defensive play of the game.
5-1 Fultz, teammates up in Seattle for that season. And Fultz, as Sixers fans know, drafted #1 overall back in 2017.
Well, he's not there anymore, but Lorenzo Romar, the former coach of Washington, sure could recruit his tail off. He got a lot of talent to get up there.
Saw that firsthand. Embiid, speaking of